got Dante. No, not really. I found you on the A took a while. Fanfare.
Graduates, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome the faculty of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dean of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences and his distinguished guests, joined by this year's Luther Rice and Undergraduate Research Fellows.
be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Alan Wade, Marshal of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences. On behalf of the Dean and the faculty of the Columbian College, I'm delighted to welcome you to this celebration for our baccalaureate candidates in the 196th year of the George Washington University. We congratulate all of our graduates and join with you, their families and friends, in celebration this weekend as we share sincere pride in our graduates' achievement. In addition to greeting each of our graduates and celebrating their accomplishments this afternoon, we will also honor faculty excellence in student mentoring and teaching. Each year, a representative group of graduates of the college, on behalf of all of the graduates, are asked to nominate a member of the faculty to speak on this occasion. This year's faculty speaker is Charles Thomas Long, Assistant Professor of History. Professor Long.
Thank you. Members of the great class of 2017 of George Washington University, this afternoon, I just want to thank you. Specifically, I want to thank you for two things. When I retired from my law practice at the end of 1998, I thought I would probably teach history for a few years and then really retire, whatever that means. I couldn't imagine an old codger having the energy to maintain the schedule required of a teacher to keep up with you for a very long time. It turns out that working with you provides rather than consumes energy. So I want to thank you for that. It's like having the world's biggest Starbucks without the downside of caffeine. Secondly, we're living in a time of great challenges to our way of life. We see that North Korea is testing nuclear weapons and long-range missiles. We see ISIS promising to destroy what we think of as Western civilization. There are complex threats to our fundamental freedoms around every corner. Several years ago, a man whom I respect greatly raised questions about how or even if those problems would be resolved. He was an older gentleman who had spent much of his life studying history while engaged in a very successful business career. He said, "Young people today just don't get it. Freedom isn't free. It requires caring and commitment and sacrifice." The character of Eliza Hamilton in the finale to the second act of the play Hamilton expresses the same sentiment, but it does it as three questions, three important questions. She asks, who lives, who dies, who tells your story? Or who really cares and who is committed enough to tell these important stories? It has been my privilege and even more my pleasure to have gotten to know many of you very well over the last 4 years. You've answered these questions for me emphatically. You have demonstrated the caring, commitment, and willingness to tell those important stories. Let me give you just a few examples. One member of your class, while doing a study abroad in Spain, became fascinated with what seemed to her at the anomalous position taken by the government of Spain about their country's role in the Second World War. They loudly proclaim their pride in their neutrality and assert that they helped many of Europe's Jews escape from Hitler's final solution. She began to explore in the archives and learned that it was a lot more complex than that. She came back to campus even more committed to pursuing a career in the law so she can use her intellect to protect our human and civil rights. As a student, she co-edited the Undergraduate Law Review. She did an internship at the Holocaust Memorial Museum, and she wrote an honors thesis about the real role of the Spanish, who, for example, compiled a list of the 6,000 Jews who lived in Spain and turned that list over to Hitler's henchman, Heinrich Himmler. Many of Europe's Jews died because they tried to flee to what they believed would be safety in Spain, only to be turned back at the border or detained. She told their story to try to prevent similar outrages in the future. She cares, she understands the price of freedom, and she is committed to telling those important stories. In a real-world example of Eliza Hamilton's questions, the first time I ever visited the Normandy American Cemetery at Omaha Beach, the superintendent of the cemetery, a man named Hans Hooker, came up to me and took me aside, and he said, "There are 9,387 men and women buried in this cemetery, but we only have the stories of 600 of them. The students in my Normandy class are trying to remedy that unfortunate situation every year." One young psychology major joined the class and did research about a soldier named Corporal Edmund Elazar from her hometown of Baton Rouge. She learned about his early life from a surviving sister and then dug out the rest of the story from the archives. Edmund went to sea as a merchant marine sailor, and on the 12th of May, 1942, his tanker was torpedoed by a German U-boat and sunk. He spent days adrift in a life raft before he was rescued. That experience exempted him from future military service. Even so, 6 months later, he joined the Army. At the time of his enlistment, she wrote, he was barely 20 years old, but already understood the price of freedom. Then on the 7th of June, the day after D-Day, 1944, his unit landed at Omaha Beach. He was killed in fierce fighting around Carentan on the 9th of July, when, according to a letter from one of his buddies, an artillery barrage hit the area where he was located. Because of her acquaintance with Edmund, your classmate has decided to devote her career to serving those with psychiatric disorders associated with trauma, the victims of PTSD and their families. For the past few years, she has spent every Friday at a local hospital teaching long-term patients to knit as a matter of therapy. She did research psychiatric internships at Fort McNair and at Walter Reed, and in the fall, she begins a PhD program that specializes in traumatic psychiatric disorders. She too cares a lot, and she's committed, and she continues to tell Edmund's story. Another of the Normandy class students found that Charles Cheatham grew up in his student's hometown in New Jersey. He enlisted in the Army in 1942. Cheatham volunteered for the infantry and then for the airborne. After the rigorous training that we all know about from watching Band of Brothers, he was assigned to the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment. They landed in Liverpool on the 15th of September, 43, and they continued their training. Then, in the early morning hours of the 6th of June, they jumped into the darkness over Saint-Marie-du-Mont in Normandy. His unit secured a causeway through flooded lowlands that allowed the 4th Infantry Division to move inland off Utah Beach. They fought their way up the Cotentin Peninsula toward Cherbourg. Then, after the quietest day since they had landed, at about 5:15 in the morning on the 24th of June, the Germans fired 20 mortar rounds into the area where Cheatham's company was camped. One shell landed in his foxhole, killing the young man who had volunteered to fight for the liberation of France. The GW student who presented the eulogy for PFC Cheatham while standing at his gravesite in the cemetery overlooking Omaha Beach, in the words of Eliza Hamilton, told Cheatham's story, and he'll continue telling it the rest of his life. Oh yeah, that student was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Army yesterday. He's already done his jump training and he wants to be an airborne ranger. Trust me, he knows the price of freedom and he cares very much. There are many, many more stories that I could tell you about how your commitment and your energy give me great confidence and great hope in the future of our country and the future of our way of life. And for that, I thank you.
Thank you, Professor Long. Robert W. Kenney, who served as Dean of the Columbian College, was particularly supportive as a department chair and as Dean of quality teaching, especially in introductory courses. When Dean Kenney retired, his colleagues honored him by endowing a prize to be awarded each year to a faculty member in arts and sciences nominated by students who has demonstrated an imaginative or innovative approach to teaching in an introductory or basic course in a discipline. This year's winner of the Robert W. Kenney Prize is Holly Dugan, Associate Professor of English. Professor Dugan, please join me. You'll remember this. Professor Dugan was nominated by her students and colleagues for her groundbreaking new course, Literature and the Financial Imagination, and for the inspiring ways in which she builds skills in critical thinking and written communication. Her new course, which began as a partnership with the School of Business, is not about business, but rather pulls in a range of literary works designed to investigate questions of money, exchange, value, the corporation, and other themes, focusing on key intersections between literary and financial cultures. Innovative is the perfect word to describe the Literature and the Financial Imagination course, wrote one student, with a reading list that is varied and intertwined, and a reading list that pushes boundaries. Professor Dugan found a way to put a fresh, unique, and real-world spin on the traditional English course. The course is innovative in its cross-disciplinary intersections, wrote a colleague, but it's also innovative in its mode of instruction. It's a large class with a small class feel. Professor Dugan has found a way, through group work, intense and interactive workshopping, and assignments that demanded creativity, to teach a big class in an intimate manner that respects each student for their thinking and their contributions to the class. For her imagination and zeal to kickstart an exciting and rigorous new program that crosses school boundaries, her passion for the subject at hand, a teaching style that is incredibly engaging, and her care for the learning styles of each and every student, the college is pleased to present Professor Holly Dugan with the Robert W. Kenney Prize for 2017. Congratulations, Professor Dugan. Dean Elizabeth Chacko will now present the Columbian Prize for Teaching and Mentoring Advanced Undergraduate Students.
Professor Diane Klein, would you please join me at the podium? Professor Diane Klein joined GW's Department of History and Classics in 2015. And she is an exceptional teacher who is devoted to her students and their academic success. A historian of ancient Greece, she is also deeply committed to the development of GW's initiative to support innovation through cross-disciplinary collaboration. Her students describe Professor Klein as an experiential professor who wishes for her students to truly understand and appreciate their intellectual pursuits through hands-on learning. Students in her Alexander the Great seminar traveled to northern Greece as part of the course. Lucky students. There, her students were able to experience cultural and archaeological autopsies and walk among the ruins of the palace where Alexander was born. In her Classical Athens course, Professor Klein was not able to physically transport students to the Parthenon in Athens. However, she brought the Parthenon to her students. She arranged for several guest lectures from scholars who have dedicated their academic lives to the history and archaeology of the Parthenon. Diane Klein is a critical part of history and classics at GW and part of the efforts of the history department to increase its undergraduate majors and broaden and deepen their capstone experience. Not only did she advise the history department's first digital history senior thesis, she also served as the primary advisor on 5 other senior theses, was a reader for 2 undergraduate senior theses, and an informal advisor to 4 more undergraduate students. In addition to her faculty role in the GW History Department, Professor Klein also serves as the founding director of the cross-disciplinary collaboration initiative known as XD at GW. Her passion is network weaving. In other words, finding people with similar intellectual interests, but who are in diverse departments, and serving as a bridge to bring them together. For her engagement with students and learning, Professor Klein, today you received the Columbian Prize for Teaching and Mentoring Advanced Undergraduate Students. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And this time you get thank you.
Each spring, faculty nominate an exceptional undergraduate who has evidenced outstanding scholarship through a composition, research paper, or project that expresses originality or demonstrates depth of knowledge as a distinguished scholar in the college. Erica Feynman is one of our distinguished scholars this year. A double major in political science and in women's, gender, and sexuality studies, Erica has maintained an impressive overall GPA while being a dedicated student leader and advocate. A scholar activist, Erica has demonstrated a commitment to gender and sexuality issues, excelling in scholarship on transgender and non-binary individuals. Erica has presented research on transgender adults and their childhoods at GW Research Days and at the Queer Collusion Writing Conference in Canada. Concurrently, Erica has held leadership positions on campus, including Student Association President and Undergraduate Senator for Columbian College, partnering with the Faculty Senate to implement GW's first-year academic forgiveness policy. Erica proposed, wrote, and helped pass bills such as the Religious Diets Accommodation Act, an act that allows students to access kosher and halal meals at GW's satellite campuses. Erica is also a member and past president of the Feminist Student Union and has been involved with Allied in Pride and GW's Committee on Sexual Assault Prevention and Response, working tirelessly on social justice and diversity issues. Faculty expect that Erica will play a major role in the shaping of gender and sexuality issues and politics in the years to come. Erica.
Thank you. When I learned that I would be speaking here today, I thought to myself, what could I possibly tell you that Hallmark cards and your friends and family haven't told you already? Struggling with writer's block, I decided to ask some of my friends what they would want to hear at graduation, reminding them that they would eventually have to hear it, so they should really take my question seriously. My friends collectively agreed that what they wanted to hear at graduation was either how to get your dream job, what is the best credit card to maximize points and rewards, or how to make $1 million in 10 seconds. While I learned a lot in my 4 years here, I still definitely can't answer that $1 million question, but from my Google searching, I've gathered that some of the best credit cards for recent graduates are Citi Double Cash, Discover It, and Chase Freedom. This is definitely useful information to know, but unfortunately, listing the best credit cards doesn't quite make for a very inspiring graduation speech. However, what I gathered from my friends and fellow graduates is that their concerns surrounding graduation and beginning this next chapter of our lives were primarily regarding how to get ahead and how to do it fast. There are typically two responses to the anxieties of a graduate. We either hear to just follow our dreams and everything else will fall into place, or we hear that if we work really hard, we will end up exactly where we want to be. Parents, don't take this personally, but neither of those things are really true, and those sentiments are not particularly helpful in this moment. I think that one of the hopes in having someone like me speak is that I can tell you all about some of the challenges that I've overcome and about my bright future to help inspire you all to go chase your dreams. But I would much rather say something useful to you in a time where everyone looks like they've got everything figured out when they actually don't. So I wanted to share some honest words with you all as my fellow graduates. Many of us are graduating today with a resume long enough to be an autobiography. Some of us are graduating with Latin honors or with countless other types of academic distinction. And as I look out into the sea of caps and gowns before me, I see that many of us are decorated with cords and stoles to demonstrate student leadership and campus involvement. I know for a fact that we are all graduating with improved skills, advanced knowledge, a deeper understanding of the issues of today, and a broadened perspective on the world than when we first arrived at GW. Some of us are graduating thinking that we know what our future holds, and many of us aren't quite sure what we are doing come Monday when GW kicks us out of the dorms. I don't think anyone expects to obtain a diploma just to end up unemployed, underemployed, or in a job that they don't love, or having no plan and no idea what their next step will be. If any of these situations do apply to you, though, believe it or not, you're not alone, you're probably in the majority, and you're going to be just fine. In case you forgot, we all reached an enormous milestone today. We cannot focus so much on the question of what happens next that we forget to focus on what is happening right now. So take a breath of relief, because you don't have to know what your next step is right now to get to where you want to be. It's okay if your first job out of college isn't your dream job, and it's okay if you still don't have a job at all waiting for you after this weekend. It's also okay if you don't know how to make $1 million in 10 seconds, and it's okay to feel like you are taking a step backwards, because sometimes that is the only and best way to move forwards. Wherever you are right now, you're doing great. Life is not supposed to be a linear path, and there is no right way or wrong way to get to where you want to go. Instead of stressing about the fact that you haven't yet landed an exciting job that will get you an exorbitant amount of likes on Facebook, I encourage you to live in the present moment and take your time in finding exactly what your next step will and should be. I already told you that I would not be telling you to just go for your dreams today. Sometimes we need to take some time to reflect and to prepare ourselves for this next chapter of our lives. Instead, class of 2017, I'm tasking you with one final assignment, because you can't chase your dreams without some sort of a plan. Part 1, reflect on all that you've accomplished in these past years and center your focus on what you are passionate about, whether that's academics, athletics, community service, or something else. On the count of 3, and I know this is kind of silly, but I think it could be cool, I want you all to share what that passion is that you just reflected on. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for humoring me. Part 2 of the assignment is to realize that there is a way to make your passion a central aspect of your life's work. Doing this will take more than hard work. It will take perseverance, courage, creativity, and help from others. Part 3, remember the George Washington University as the place where you learn just as much about your discipline as you did about yourself, and keep that knowledge with you wherever your journey may take you next. I do eventually want you to follow your dreams, just not yet. This weekend, and even this summer, I encourage you to bask in your accomplishments, recount your memories that you have from here, celebrate with your loved ones, and savor this beautiful and very special moment. You've all worked extremely hard to get to where you are. Don't let your fear of tomorrow prevent you from rejoicing today. And if you do figure out how to make $1 million in 10 seconds, please be so kind as to share your wisdom with your fellow graduates. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2017.
Good afternoon. My name is Morgan Kaur, and I'm a proud alumnus of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences. I'm also a member of the board of directors for the GW Alumni Association, which I'm now proud to tell you, welcome. You're all about to be members of it and you're joining a large 270,000 plus worldwide community. And the association that I represent here today, it serves several functions, but it primarily is representing you, the alumni, to the university and vice versa, building this lifelong relationship. GW alumni are making history, changing the world every day through the service of their community, contributions to their professions and crafts, and their dedication to GW as loyal alumni. In less than 24 hours, each of you will be, as I said, part of this community, and that doesn't go away. Philosophy of colonials helping colonials is something that I really encourage you to adopt and uphold. The GW Alumni Association also has a rich tradition of recognizing a student graduating in each of the schools of the university for their leadership in their field, for their community service, their curricular and extracurricular accomplishments. This year's recipient of the GW Alumni Association Prize from the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences is V. Rose Lieberman. And Rose, please join me up here at the podium. Rose is graduating this weekend with a degree with special honors in biology with a minor in political science, my own field, so I'm very happy to hear that. Rose has been the recipient of the Siegelman Undergraduate Research Enhancement Award, which helped provide support for her student research in 2 labs in the School of Medicine, which has been presented multiple times on campus, at a cell biology meeting in San Francisco, and at an NIH poster day. This experience ignited her passion for biomedical research. During her time here at GW, Rose has been a leader and mentor in the University Honors Program and has demonstrated a passion for serving the GW community as a student admissions representative and tour guide and as an outreach director for the Colonial Army. A significant part of finding her home at GW was living in the University Honors community, where she quickly became involved as a peer advisor, reaching out to incoming students. And having just accepted a position with a pharmaceutical organization in the area, Rose will realize 2 important goals: finding a career path in the biotech industry and remaining here in Washington, where she can continue to watch the Colonials here at the Smith Center. So on behalf of the GW Alumni Association, I congratulate you and your classmates on all of your accomplishments, and congratulations.
A number of our graduates have been selected to receive special awards, prizes, or honors. Let me call your attention to the names of those awardees who are listed inside your program. Additionally, this year's Phi Beta Kappa inductees were honored at ceremonies earlier this week. At this time, we'd like to recognize the remarkable accomplishments and talents of our graduates by first asking all of the Luther Rice and undergraduate research fellows to please stand and remain standing. Would all of the departmental awardees and prize winners who are listed in the program please stand and remain standing? Would all of the Phi Beta Kappa graduates please stand and join them? Let me also ask anyone who appeared on the Dean's List this year to stand as well. Or the Dean's List any year in attendance. And those who finished a capstone paper or exhibition or project, in fact, any exam or paper or special project or juried work or recital. You may be seated. It's now our pleasure to introduce one by one your sons, daughters, spouses, parents, and special friends whose noble achievement we celebrate with these festivities. In order that none of the names of our honorees will get lost, we ask that you withhold your applause until all of the graduates have been presented, at which time we'll all join together in saluting them. As Dean Vinson takes his place in front of the podium, let me ask the faculty marshals, yes, thank you, to please step forward, introduce the graduates to our guests. Again, please hold your congratulations until all have been presented.
Okay. If it's a department, faculty member, and then the students. Okay. I'll give you the cards as I finish with them.
Yes, you get the degree only if you come up and have your...
Africana Studies, represented by faculty member Jennifer James. Hutton Phillips. American Studies, represented by faculty member Elizabeth Anker. Caitlin Harkin. Samantha Devaney. Brittany O'Connor. Edith Rose Kremer. Kayla Flood Paradino. Catherine Check. Somerville Glubiak. Catherine Howard. Arden Skura. Brianna Nobles. Jenna Friedberg. Brett Swanson. Sierran Lithgow. Tori Sanders. Mariah Thiebald. Anna McGarrigle. Lizzie Gendel. William Francisco Kilgore. Emily Solomon. Marina Asif. Hannah Buckholtz. Diego Michael Viegas de Oliveira. Victoria Leantonio. Laura Blackerby. Henry Clapper. Morgan Wiggin. Catherine McDowell. Emily Holtzman. Kate Cooper. Madeline Gray Daly. Lauren Law. Amanda Briggs. Lauren Fernandez. Alyssa Lang. Jessica Dumas. Anna Finzel. Rachel Wint. Elliot Greiner. Molly Zepp. Maxine Lasso. Nadia Khan. Elizabeth Munson. Sedina Vitalock Prentice. Margaret Peterson. Danielle Reyes. Brooke Rice. Hannah Sofield. Mason Alter. Alexandra Rose Arnold.
Lauren Buscato. Archaeology, Eric Klein, faculty member representing. Alexis Clark. Amanda Woodworth. Allison Gatrell. Catherine White. Arabic, faculty member Francesco Senatora. Brooke Dowd. Biology, represented by Carly Jordan. Biology, Haben Issa. Huma Ajaz. Julia Hennessy. Tiffany Smith. Danish Imtiaz. Heather Longner. Hannah Jeffress. John Burke. Jamie Burns. Jamie Burns. Christian Miller. Joanna Marie Aguilar. Dominica Redizio. Stephanie Kane. Naomi Naiki. Brianna Polyak. Khalif Shear. Claire Green. Paulina Proska. Mira Mamluk. Amir Sra. Annie Wells. Nadia Zaman. Hadil Shadid. Stephanie Nguyen. Michelle Alexandra Gross. Dominic Champa. Maya Shavini Takar. Verna Rose Lieberman. Simon Wentworth. Sigmund Lillian. Reem Kabas Al-Shabib. Christina Darwish. Sharif Chibo. Rohini Brambalat. Leah Kravets. Jennifer Romanello. Carolyn Fryer. David Ozer. Ryan Lynn. Omar Osman. Wes Waterhouse. Elisa Coulter. Sarah Weinbrom. Allison Weston. Sophia Bills. Claudia Kochieski. Mo Hajun. Sarah Lutkowski. Angel Valencia. Jonathan Gaul. Noor Zaglula. Simran Gupta. Nicheki Uzokua. Dennis Kodasevich. Yunju Lee. Carly Cohen. Henry Betts. Stephanie Ishu. Matthew Huang. Jared Sheehan. Liz Brew. Andrew Mitchell. Yashoda Dole. Christian Van Nispen. Ryan Wagstaff. Jean Yim. Yong Kwan. Department of Chemistry, Dr. Lakeisha McClary. Abigail Nicole Pepin. G.I. Pamela. Robin Kleinberg. Daniel Cooksey. Jae-ho Hu. Eric Lee. Juan Enrique Vicini. Nicholas T. Duman. Vanessa Cardona. sorry. Trina Doe. Yoon Park. Colton Eberhard. Mackenzie Gray. Daniel Bernstein. Austin Gold. Zamin Raza. Jacob Hawk. Caitlin Cowles. Julia Maglozio. Nathaniel Bactel. Adrian Coulter. Matthew Gromish. Mark Drashai. Emin Miradambadi. George Kludenov. Nicholas Francone. Rashnana Bahowden. Classical Studies, Elise Friedland representing. Claire Davies. Hannah Fortson. Kirby Rousseau. Gabriel Discafani. Communication. Katrina Pereira, faculty member representing. Jean Javier Terran. Nicholas Sanchez. Elise Swakowski. Isabella Katzenberg. Sean Simon. Gianni Q. Mingswan Sun. Jihui Chai. Caitlin Richards. Jessica Doherty. Michaela Rosen. Lauren Shear. Molly Goodman. Rachel Paul. Lauren Shiplet. Stephanie Adams. Madeline Braunstein. Gretchen Bauermeister. Jenna Shin. Matthew Slonim. Minji Kim. Nejla Marie Day. Kendall Meyer. Alyssa Zubak. Shucharita Mukherjee. Carly Stern. Molly Beerer. Sophia Tedesco Lessner. Woi Ki Lau. Jordan Goldstein. Naomi Sabah. Daniela Morrison. Natalie Polinsky. Rana Popal. Brittany Woodkey. Morgan McKee. Mackenzie Jane Cowley. Delaney Morris. Taylor Niederlander. Hannah Olivia Shively. Jaron Sina. Organizational Studies, faculty member David Costanza. Andrea Hewitt. Matthew Hart. Shannon Nicole Cranshaw. Chidima Asuchuko. Allison Bakos. Dylan Goodman. Jada Matthews. Annie Cadets. Emily Smith. Natalie Flacco. Emily Clemens. Alexandra DeMora. Stephanie Ann Adams. Lily McMillan. Haley Milowitz. Rachel Grossman. Daniela Matos. Katarina Vevers Carter. Samuel Foster Evans. Ian Philip Blaustein. Sarah Michelle Mates. Benjamin Joseph Sagerman. Dylan Halloran. Samuel Schifferis. Alexandra Peabody. Diana Vanderby. Hannah Baxter. Serena Merchant. Lane Udis. Sean Tate. Caroline Roy. Tali Epstein. Alyssa McDaniel. Alexia Ipiotis. Kwaiku Ofori Darko. Robert Lubin. Nico Page. Thomas Pierce. Lawrence Kogan. Say that. Minjik Cho. Jaeyoung Kim. Bohan Yoon. Kelly Fitzpatrick. Taylor Marcy. Amina Price. Organizational Studies, Eden Bonbright. Oh, that's Alex Peters. Elsa Togo. Roy Zukoff. Connor Boggs. Colin Mason. Julian Texiera. Tara Adatumsuntra. Dylan Hunt. Starling Temp. William Lowe. Elizabeth Coleman. Alexandra Berger. Brittany Reig. Haley Parker. Gabriela Gonzalez de Mendoza. Astrid Caramona. Lennon Melissa Adam. Ian Ball. I can go. You want me to keep going? Anthony Daskalatkis. Gabriel Fabre. Summer Du Rosenfeld. Geography, Professor Michael Mann. Tommy Porter Elms. Kate Campbell. Melissa Morgan. Jacob Pavlik. Camille Milton. Raul Gonzalez. Becky Taibo. Malini Mager. Jamie Snellgrove. Ian Garland. Mark Favorito. Michaela Moschella. Oakley Shelton Thomas. Jason Davidson. Environmental Studies, Professor David Rain. Queen Ha. Amy Mitsumori. Danielle Barlow. Cameron Wagner. Samantha Buckalter. Adrian Britt. Sean McCormick. Danielle Schultz. Ivana Swikowski. Emily Dean. Nina Feldman. Eleanor Oser. David Sullivan. Alastair Watson. Katie Trevolick. Kimming Chin. Professor Richard Tolo, Geological Sciences. Alexander Gilot. Brendan Keegans. Max Reiser. Timothy Waldman. Claire Lewis. Alexis Rich. Adriana North. Ariana, I'm sorry. Chinese Language and Literature's Professor Hongwan Dong. Dana Bailey. Professor Leo Hanami. Monica Ragucci. English Professor Marshall Alcorn. Kareen Stern. William Heidekovich. Jonathan Brandis. Sean Meddock. Nicole Wu. Shahan Hasnayan. Kristen Taylor Clark. Theodora P. Frangakis. Siobhan Flynn. Amelia Spate. Grace Murtha. Rose Spikopishi. Bailey Blumenstock. Margaret Elizabeth May. Olivia Claire Garcia. Mackenzie Thomas Dart. Sarah Fannin. Virali Dave. Margaret Coons. Chase Graham. Cole DeMonico. Fine Arts and Art History, Professor Alexander Dumbadras. Sorry. Melissa Sturman. Megan Dowerman. Ashley Swikert. Alexandra Rock. Phoebe Babaharoni. Gabriel Dahani. Kayla Ihara. Art History, Leah Scully. Joseph Outvies. Maeve Dare. Sydney Sheehan. Isabella Bidmead. Annalise Kirsch. Taylor Olber. Katrina Kagan. Beatrice Wu. Spencer Tate. Sasha Kobila. Tara Adam. Corcoran School of Art and Design and Photojournalism, Ken Rice. Samuel Hickox McGehee. Nina Lauren Kite. History, Professor Jonathan Shea. Timothy Kick. Gabriel Nisley. Jonah Glickman. Patrick Hinneberry. Zoe Goldstein. Catherine McGowan. Anthony Sclafanzi. Umar Hussein. Austin Shearer. Brian Foley. Frank Fritz. Joseph Albanese. Natalie Ellis. Catherine Keimig. William Hoffman. Ufoma Onamine Uaboroa. Jamie Kale Moreno. Emily Pagano. Emma Atwood. Rodolfo Martinez Don. Anthony Wynn. Daniel Howlett. Zachary Toland. Grace Delaney. Samuel Gallen. Interior Architecture and Design, Professor Nancy Evans. Reem Almquari. Zabel Gizarayan. Eliza Levine. Emma Ava Frankel. Veronica Callahan. Alana Solomon. Kimberly Benton. Margot Nanfelt. Eve Lee. Anya Konecki. Haley Revels. Olivia Smith. Amy Daw. Holly Reisick. Peter Zhao. Momazen Qasim. Professor Joseph Bonin, Mathematics. Shigan Soon. Eric Jose Perales. Jacob Koblentz. Sarah Binya. Sophia D'Ambrosio. Julia Manning. Spencer Buelna. Brianna Farrell. Brooke Staveland. Isabel Berger. Jacqueline Andrews. Selena Jaggi. Clayton Hirsch. Catherine Burke. Greta Simons. Benjamin DeSolo Marks. Wenchol Yang. Jeremy Falcone. Daniel Donahue. Tiffany Tu. Yujing K. Samantha Sadiv. Tiang Wang. Ryu Win. Yiyaw Chen. Jacqueline Yim. Madison Toronto. Fengshu Ku. Hanzi Zhu. Shuyu Zi. Say it for me. Yihui Liu. Jingyi Zhao. Yotong Sun. Department of Music for Professor Robert Birch. Charles Rayburn Ceballos. Stephen Arnold. Katerina Sasana Grajales. Brian Caldwell. Timothy Shim. Department of Religion, Professor Paul Duff. Kavita Prakash. Matthew Sferaza. Sunny Patel. Peace Studies, Professor Irene O. Rachel Pulwers. Ashley Nadler. Maura Feeney. Bailey Forcier. Department of Philosophy, Tad Zawitsky. Claire Pustinger. Tyler John O'Keefe. Nicholas Ozaki Watkins. Catherine Bell. Alexander Monteverdra. Marissa Mangini.
What happened? You gave.
Oh, sorry. Say your name. Hango Ting. Yeah, sorry. Department of Physics, Professor Gary White. Matthew Costuras. Francis Carmody. Antonio Kutzer. Justin Londe. Dartanam Howell. Mohiku Bertotar. Joseph Reviere. Biophysics, Professor Mark Reeves. David Owen Plotnick. Department of French, Masha Belinsky. Claire Svedberg. German, Caleb Adams. Charlotte Tam. Spanish, Maxwell Schreiner. Neuroscience, Kristen Mounts. Speech, language, hearing, and sciences, Shelley Brundage, professor, sorry. Lydia Barber. Eliza Snow. Kira Palmer. Kaylee Jordan Mangle. Olivia Magnuson. Allison Dundor. Rosanna Saklu. Cindy Kong. Kathleen Baltazar. Keela Gonzalez. Statistics, Professor Srinivasan Balaji. Megan Fowler. Stephen Friedman. Amanda Infeld. Izana Berhain. Jinzi Wang. Kai Wang. Kyra Robertson. Metha Minion. Leah Babbins. Wenjai Yu. Wensu Cho. Junyong Zheng. Austin Kim. Theater and Dance, Professor John Traub. Rachel Sharp. Mary Heath. Rachel Kleiman. Melanie Eccles. Gabriel Garupa. Zoe Tawa. Emily Eula. Delante Flood. Wendy Dubner. Sam Kessler. Professor Cynthia Deach, Women's Studies, Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies. Duncan Stewart. Catherine Mendoza Wright. Jennifer Kurt. Maureen Johnson. Ella Schnellberg. Nora Franco. Margaret Fritz. Lexi Farkash. Nagar Esfandarari. Jocelyn Jacoby. Erica Lynn Feynman. This is General Studies in Arts, Professor Sheila Mills Harris. Michael Servino. Stacy Carson. Anna Marie Ofer. Sophia Clayman. Parrish Stinson. Kayla Banks. Timani Richardson. Peter Williams. Mohammed Mohsen. Aiden Lowe. Brianna Coleman.
You'll never get that out of your system. It's now my pleasure to call upon Dean Ben Vinson III to deliver his charge to the graduating class. A professor of history and dean of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences, Dean Vinson is an acknowledged teacher scholar. With our faculty, he continues the tradition of excellence that is at the core of the Columbian College. Dean Vinson, I'm pleased to present to you your graduating class of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences, the class of 2017.
Thank you, Professor Wade, for your introduction, and thank you to everyone who has participated in making this celebration ceremony such a terrific event. I will say before making my remarks, women's studies, I hear you. I hear you. To our graduates, congratulations. You did it. By the time this weekend draws to a close, you will be the proud holders of a diploma from the George Washington University. Here's to you. Now, I was just talking about an hour ago or so, maybe a couple hours ago, with someone who graduated at our 12 o'clock ceremony. And this person said, you know, Dean Vinson, I have this sense of accomplishment, but it could have been so much greater if I had had an exam on today. I would have really sensed the sense of accomplishment. Faculty, do you agree with me on this? Should we implement this? Yeah, that's my reaction. Listen, guys, this weekend's graduation exercises are steeped in symbolism and pageantry. They are emblematic of the passing of knowledge from one generation to the next. Today encapsulates a moment in time, representing everything that you've accomplished as a student. It is now your turn to confer knowledge, to advance your field, to move the goalposts of existing intellectual frontiers. The graduation gowns that you wear symbolize the power of knowledge and creativity, as well as your transformative ability to improve the world through your work. So while today marks the end of one journey, now I know for you it could be a seemingly endless journey, one that you were in the trenches of your exams, the minefields of your coursework, having to breathe the fire of your professors. While today marks the end of one journey, it also represents the beginning of another life journey for you. Your regalia signifies your opportunity, your tomorrow. A tomorrow that I am confident will be as awe-inspiring as the pageantry of our commencement exercises. As you enjoy this weekend, its festivities, the camaraderie, the gatherings of friends and family, I hope that you also find time to meditate on your GW experience. I completely agree with Erica when she delivered her comments earlier to you today. This is a time for reflection. I know that some of this is going to be hard to do with so much spinning around you, particularly during the rush of events that lead up to graduation. But let me remind you of the obvious. Too often, we take things in life for granted, including our education. Too often, as we build our intellectual muscle memory through our coursework, through our studying, we simultaneously become almost robotic in our thoughts and our actions. Now, this is an irony. Universities, and particularly colleges of arts and sciences, we strive to develop critical thinking in our students. But at times, the very method of making critical thinkers and critical learners also makes the use of those skills too routine. So today, let me issue all of you a challenge. If you do anything over the next 24 hours, please take a few moments to reflect on what you've learned at GW. Process what that means in your life, and remind yourself why you chose to pursue a degree in a college of arts and sciences. If you do this successfully, let me then issue you a second challenge. Repeat this reflective process at least once a month for the rest of your lives. By doing this exercise, it is my hope that you will continue to rekindle your creative juices, to reignite your intellectual passion, regardless of what happens to you, regardless of what jobs you might take. If you do this, you will reanimate that part of your brain that ignites critical thinking as part of your thought process. What I ask is simple, but it's somewhat hard to do. In this high-tech era of continual and furious change, there are endless demands competing for our attention. Yes, it's true. Some of these represent some of the highlights and benefits of what it means to live in a modern society. But at the same time, we must realize that these distractions collectively also threaten to drown the liberal arts and sciences, neutering their relevance. To overcome the technological habits and practices and the multitask nature of our lives, we as graduates of the arts and sciences must return to asking ourselves the questions that rest at the core of our fields. What is a meaningful life? Why are we here? Why are things the way they are? How do we become better people? How do we build better societies? I've had the fortunate pleasure of being the dean of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences for 4 years now. We came in together. This is a special class for me. Every day I consider my job a blessing. It's truly one of the best jobs in the world. And the primary reason why is because of you, because of our faculty, because of the human and institutional resources that we have access to. We are deeply inspired by what you have achieved. We are deeply excited about where you will go from here. It is because of you that our faculty give everything they have for your education. We ask you today to take forward our faith in you, to let our faith empower you to become the next scientists exploring new ways to create clean energy, or the next clinicians helping to erase the conflicts of the mind, to be the next policy experts finding diplomatic solutions to age-old knotty battles, or businessmen and businesswomen running successful operations through data analysis and creative expertise, to be the next artists and academicians creating new knowledge and new aesthetics through the power of your minds. Where would the world be without you? Without students in the engaged and connected liberal arts? You are our innovators. You are our humanitarians, our future in moving our global society forward. Let me be clear, great things await you. But for right now, you might very well be where I was when I graduated. Fidgety, uncertain about what's next. I vividly recall, as if it was yesterday, my own cluelessness when I landed my very first job at Barnard College. When I reported for my first day of work, I was given the keys to my office and then told to get to work. I opened the door of my office, I looked at this gleaming new beautiful computer and an incredibly beautiful Aeron ergonomically correct chair. It was so seductive. I sat in that chair and I just started spinning around for about 10 to 15 minutes. There was absolutely no guidance. I had no idea what I was actually supposed to do. I had to make it up along the way. This may be you. You will be okay. Be confident in your knowledge and what you have experienced through your extraordinary journeys from the classroom to the laboratory to sites around this great city, and maybe even sites around the world. You've written formulas, you've analyzed policy, you've deciphered our past, you've delved deep into the inner workings of the brain, engaged our creative spirit, and searched for ways to protect our environment. The collective moments and connections you've made, these are the things you'll continue to draw upon as you move forward. This weekend, you move from being our students to being our alumni. You'll join the ranks of a pretty impressive group of graduates. They include a world-renowned physicist, a publisher of The Big Bang Theory, not the TV show, a first lady, a Nobel laureate, US legislators, global leaders, Emmy award-winning journalists, innovative entrepreneurs, and accomplished artists. This is your network now. Engage them. Stay connected. Give back if you can. Mentor a student. Support a project so that others may pursue what you've achieved here in your GW career. Though you may move well beyond Foggy Bottom, well beyond the Columbian College, well beyond GW, we hope that you will continue to remain an active part of this vibrant colonial community. Graduates, there is electricity in the air today. I certainly felt it for the first time when I arrived here at GW. I feel it pulsating now. Something special is here, and it's clearly you. GW students are like no other. You are ready for the world's challenges, ready to shape the world in your image. Year after year, I've been proven right by our graduating classes, each distinct and in their own way better than the other. The faculty, our community, and all who are here today as witnesses, we are confident in you and what you will achieve. So today, in this moment, we pause collectively to salute you. As you move onward, continue to be the best that you can be. Do it by pausing every now and then to reflect upon those seemingly disconnected aspects of your life. Do it by multiplying your moments, your life experiences into something greater for the benefit of society. Seek opportunity. Don't wait for it to find you. Exercise your muscle memory. Absorb new knowledge while continuing to build your skill set. Allow passion to guide you to create a meaningful life. English professors, have I missed any more cliches? Class of 2017, good luck and congratulations.
If the dean could only muster more energy for his chart. Graduates, please remember to wear your Columbian College medal tomorrow at the National Mall. Joseph, remember to wear both of yours. And when you're introduced and recognized by the dean, I trust you'll let everyone in Washington know that you're present. A sincere note of thanks to those who helped make today special for our graduates, particularly the wonderful staff of the Dean's Office and of the Smith Center, to Robert Birch, Director of GW Bands, to the Potomac Brass, who provided musical accompaniment, and to Professors Elizabeth Chaco and Derek Malone France, who, with felicity and panache, read the names of all of our graduates. Thank you. And a very special thanks to one of our faculty colleagues who could not be here today, Professor Michael King, who is chair of the Department of Chemistry. When I said I was the college's faculty marshal, I should have said faculty marshal for the day. I'm merely a stand-in for Professor King, who this weekend is celebrating his son's graduation with a master's degree from California State University at Northridge. California? The San Andreas fault has not struck yet. No. Professor King is the one who oversees the organization and implementation of this ceremony, who herds the respective categories of cats that are assembled for it, and who would... I'm retiring, so it's okay. And who would... and who would otherwise be standing before you saying what I've been saying. Knowing Michael, he will likely review video footage of my performance and send detailed commentary to the dean. Thank you, Professor King. Ladies and gentlemen, as you leave the building, please be mindful of your safety and that of your party. You will be exiting onto a busy street full of city traffic. Rather than linger for photos and greetings nearby, we recommend that you move to the open space in the University Yard or Kogan Plaza, or the Chase Freedom Kiosk near the Financial Aid Office. To close our program, we asked everyone to join Timothy Shim, newly minted graduate, in the singing of the GW alma mater, the words and music of which you can find at the end of the program. Immediately after this year's distinguished scholar, Erica Feynman, will come forward and accept the school pennant from Dean Vinson. Following this symbolic act signifying the conveyance of knowledge from one generation to the next, Erica will lead the platform party and faculty from the arena. We'll appreciate your kindness in remaining in your places until the conclusion of the program and the Dean's party, the faculty and graduates have left the arena. Would you now please rise?